Alright guys, I'm going to show you how to do the Totally Rad Actions for Photoshop, the one you should have downloaded. It's pretty straightforward. We open Photoshop. Your Photoshop screen should look pretty much like mine. If this area over here on the right does not look like mine, then go to to Window, click on Workspace, pull down to Automation, and it should be fine. If you followed my installation instructions that I sent you in your Facebook email, for those of you who are following me with this, this right here, these Totally Rad Actions should now be sitting here and look like this. You may not have all of them because I didn't send you guys the demos, because stuff that's in the demos is actually in this other business as well. So the first thing we got to do is open a picture. So I'm just going to open one that I opened earlier just for this tutorial. And there it is. And we're going to stretch it out a little bit. Actions are really cool and they're really easy. Basically, each of these are folders, and in the folders there are bunches and bunches of actions. And all you have to do to figure out how to make the action work is to click on the little down arrow, and then each of these little guys right here are all actions as well. So when you slide down, you have Technicolor Dream World, TDW No Glow, Pretty Eyes, or Super Fun Happy, blah, 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 blah. So let's say, for sake of what we're doing today, we're going to take our first one, Technicolor Dream World. Don't click on the down arrow here unless you want to go through and do all the little pieces of the actions. I generally don't even touch that. I just click on the actual name itself, then go down here and click on the play button. And honestly, that's it. Then you just sit back and let it work. When you're done, you've got this really cool little image that's been changed and made exactly the way you want it. If you look over here on your layers panel, which is on the right down here on the bottom, it threw a whole bunch of actions and layers and stuff on top of your actual picture. If you click on this little arrow right beside this folder, it takes all those actions and sticks them in the folder. If you like it, you can keep it. If you don't like it, you can click on that whole thing that says Technicolor Dream World and drag it to the trash, and everything goes back to normal. It's pretty much that easy. Let's say that we wanted to do a different action. Let's say we wanted to do colorblind. Go back up here, click on the little down arrow by colorblind, pull down to say magical black and white, click this. And I'm doing this actually for a reason to show you. Not everything is going to open up into all these layers. If you want to go in and play with all this stuff, you can. I usually don't. Again, if you click on the little eye by the layer here, the layer will turn on and off. You can also take this little guy right here where it says set the master opacity for the layer. It's this little opacity button. And you can slide it, and you can slide back to your original, whatever little pieces you want. You can give even more effects that way. You can take your eraser. Your eraser won't work actually unless you flatten that, but if you want to take your eraser and go into like just one little piece and then you want to erase it out, you can, to get cool effects. If you notice the way that I'm doing that, I'm erasing some of the, I guess you'd call it the glow or whatever it is. That of course is your choice. I just hit Command Z to undo that. So that's pretty much how this whole thing works. One thing you will find, I'm going to drag this one to the trash and show you another one. One thing you will find sometimes, because these actions most of them were made for Photoshop CS3, there's some things CS4 does that CS3 doesn't do as well. So sometimes you'll get this little thing right here that will tell you something isn't available. Just hit continue and it should be fine. Some of the actions take a very long time to run through, so if you have a slower processor, you'll just have to be patient. And that is pretty much all there is to it. Once you've got your action the way you want it, and you've set it up exactly the way you want it, ooh, that's horrible, let's get rid of that. And you're pretty much fine with the way it works. Things like this, just click OK, give it a second, let it run, and usually you'll get cool stuff. Once it's set up the way you want it to work, and this is an example of something that if you have a slow processor, it will take a lot of time. Then you have to take all these layers, especially if you're going to put it on the web, and you have to flatten them, and I'm going to show you how to do that here in just a second. I don't remember if I showed you how to do that on something else. But there's your cool effect. You say to yourself, I really like that. You decide you want to save it. You can either save it right now as a Photoshop document, which means when you open it back up, it's going to look exactly like this. Or you can go to Layer, you can pull down to Flatten Image, and now everything saves as one thing. You can then do File, Save As. You want to save as because you don't want to save over your original. Call it whatever you want, save it wherever you want, and you're good to go. Hopefully that helped. I'm glad I could be of assistance. Enjoy. Let me know if you have any questions.